Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Everyone checking in on the MJ space. So we had a decent little end of the week. Some names standing out like APHA and ACB. A little bit more than others. APHA was the clear standout bull today. It seems like everybody's getting a turn, having their own day. And we'll get to that in just a moment. So CGC holding on in the sense that we broke the low of yesterday only by 3 pennies and saw no follow through. That being said, we're also slowing down as a bull, it appears. And it's almost like just as long as CGC holds up in this range and trades sideways, that's allowing other names. You know, it was sideways yesterday and VFF was able to excel as well as Labs. And today, a little bit of upside, but APHA was able to excel. And just to tie it to the cryptocurrency space, I personally have seen many times when the Bitcoin trading sideways, people lose the attention of Bitcoin, and then they trade the altcoins, and the altcoins can see some upside while Bitcoin is not seeing a lot of movement. So potentially similar things going on. I know for me personally, if CGC were seeing as much price movement as some of these other names, I'm going to trade CGC every time due to the liquidity and the ease of trading. And that was really not the case the past few days. Not really a whole lot of upside the last 2 days, while other names gaining a bit more. So bottom line, weekly timeframes are going to be our guides from here. And we know that we're looking for a weekly lower high on CGC compared to 28.89. So we can still see another 20% move and just be looking for a weekly lower high. At this point, the bulls will keep their short-term control as long as 1961 holds. That's the key daily high or low. Anything above that is another daily high or low. But again, we're not getting too excited as bulls unless we see weekly trend changes. And daily trend changes are a start, absolutely. But we have to remember that those daily trend changes are just leading us to weekly lower highs. And that's why the bigger time frame is the most important, because if we're just zoomed in, you know, if we get a 5-minute trend change or if we get a 5-minute uptrend and that 5-minute uptrend looks really bullish, but we don't see that the hourly chart is just looking for a lower high, then we miss the bigger picture and that can put us in a bad spot. So if we know the weekly time frame, we're looking for lower highs, that can keep us from feeling FOMO, that can keep us from getting overly bullish, because we will just be looking for a lower high. Then the bulls have to hold the low and then change the weekly trend. But it's a start. The weekly oversold bounce clearly underway and cooling off RSI levels. ACB, let's actually go to APHA. So I definitely sold APHA too early yesterday. And in hindsight, that was a little bit due to the fact that I wasn't going to be on the computer and just wanting to lock in gains. Again, in my conservative trading standpoint of where I'm at in 2019 versus 2017 and 2018, my mistakes will be leaving profit on the table and not giving profit back. So I made a mistake by leaving profit on the table and selling too soon yesterday. Congrats to the bulls with this big move. We went right through that daily resistance, and the inverse head and shoulders pattern is being confirmed. So 1 day shy for me. So what I'll do is look back at little details and see, okay, what could have stood out to me as signals to hold. And really the bottom line will be trusting in just letting the play ride out a little bit longer, setting a stop loss, even if I'm not going to be at the computer for the day. And really that's what it boils down to. I'm used to being at the computer every day when I'm trading. So being in positions when I'm not watching is definitely a less comfortable spot to be in. But to go along with that fact of, you know, trading more conservatively in this market environment, in the stock world, the Canadian MJ space was my bread and butter 2017 and 2018. And just looking back, I looked today, my dollar volume traded in 2019 is currently about 25% of what I traded in 2018. So that tells me that I'm doing the right thing, where I'm going aggressive and trading hard in the right market environment. And when it's a different market environment, I'm pumping the brakes and trading less. So the APHA bulls are still in complete control. We will be looking for an hourly higher low to form. Anything above the low of today will be an hourly higher low. We did see a little consolidation at 550 at the end of the day, but if we were to start Monday and pull back, I would consider that the same hourly consolidation looking for that higher low to form. As far as the next resistance goes, we have a daily trend change. Congrats to the APHA bulls. It's been a while. The next resistance level that we're going to look at is up at 568, which we did not break. 571. Pretty much every single day is going to give us a resistance level. So 568, 71, 78, $6. Those are the next levels we're watching. And anything on the daily time frame above 468 is a daily higher low. Zoom out to the weekly. We are just looking for a weekly lower high compared to 714, but the bulls will take it. ACB does not have a daily trend change yet. Bulls are hoping it's their turn to see some strength and big time follow through early next week. Low, high, higher low, got a bit of follow through, but we have to break 391 to change the daily trend. From there, we'll look at 4 psychological, daily exponential resistance still in play, and a weekly time frame that has not started its oversold bounce in any meaningful way. It's a weekly inside bar that has to break bullish next week, and then we're just looking for a weekly lower high and the weekly oversold bounce. So Cron, daily inside bar, gave back some of that pump from yesterday. So low, high, higher low. If the inside bar breaks bearish on Monday, our lower high will be 937, and we'll be looking back down at key support of 806. So low, high, higher low, lower high. Maybe that lower high is set. If the inside bar breaks bullish on Monday, then our daily lower high has not been set yet. TLRY, daily inside bar after the pump as well, no follow through. If it breaks bearish, the bulls need a higher low compared to 22. If it breaks bullish, we're looking at the recent top of 25.69. Again, for both Cron and TLRY, just looking for weekly lower highs. If you're feeling FOMO, just zoom out, because these longer term time frames really put things in perspective and tell us, okay, there's no rush. We're not even close to changing weekly trends on any Canadian MJ names. VFF topped out, so laid out the hypothetical short trade from yesterday where I was in one position of 840 and talked about entering a second at 880 today and then having a break even of 860, and I would take half profit at 860 to free up that cash again and go back to a half position with a better cost basis. And at this point, that position would be up 3.5% or so, and I would be looking to probably cover that position if we see a break of 822 and a red day Monday, just looking for a daily higher low to form. So props to my viewer audience maturing through this last couple years, because I talked a lot about that short on VFF and going bearish, and there's a lot of people out there that watch the videos that are bullish long-term VFF and don't like to hear bearish things said about their company. But most people realize that I'm just talking about short-term consolidation from being overextended, and bulls should not get defensive or fear daily higher lows forming. So we will be looking for a daily higher low, and we do need to change our daily trend, which has not happened yet. And we are looking for a weekly lower high to form, just like most names. It's just a nice bounce with big space to work with to try and see those trend changes take place. Labs also did not get any follow through. The inability to break the high of the previous day led to some profit taking. It's a daily inside bar. If the daily inside bar breaks bearish under 478, we will look for a daily higher low to form compared to 413. And if it breaks bullish, then we know our top has not been set yet. So looking at it on the hourly time frame, healthy consolidation, no red flags. And we'll see how that inside bar breaks on Monday. VGW, very weak daily, little higher high with no follow through, which means caution of the weekly bear flag, which is still in play on VGW. Bulls have to prove it's not a bear flag, and to do so, we have to get back up into the upper $3 range, which is 20% plus away from here. Hexo getting hit with downgrades, just ugly. Anything under 286 is a lower high, and we're testing 228, our recent low. It held by 2 pennies, but that level is still in play next week, and just watching for this daily lower high and lower low pattern to continue until the bulls can prove something to us. OGI, bull flag confirmed. So nice recovery from a weak day yesterday. So even though we were unable to break resistance yesterday, we knew the bulls just had to hold 339 to stay within striking distance of keeping that pattern alive. We got the bull break over 380. We shot up to 393. That's a 4% move, 3.5 to 4% move on resistance breaking from the low to the high. And again, even if you're only capturing a fraction of that move, 1 out of the 4%, 2 out of the 4%, that's a nice day trade that's worthwhile. The hourly time frame, looking for a higher low to form with consolidation at the end of the day. Definitely more bear volume on that last candle that the bulls would like to see. Although some of that does look to be bulls. That's why we got to zoom in and look at the details. A good bit of that at the last hour was bulls defending and buying some of that dip. So we're looking at the hourly uptrend. When the hourly uptrend is lost, the bulls will have to form a daily higher low compared to 342. Daily trend change confirmed. Weekly time frame just looking for a lower high compared to 518, which is still very far away from where we stand right now. A lot of work to do for these names to change weekly trends. Let's see if the names that have not changed their daily trends, like ACB, do act as laggards early next week. You better believe Monday and Tuesday we'll be paying close attention to ACB to see if it's going to be its turn for a run. S&P 500 almost broke all-time highs today. Make sure and watch the market video to have a grasp on what's going on big picture. KHRN, keeping it in here just because it's neither Canadian or US. It is a south of the border play. But we have an equilibrium to watch. Very low cap name. I have no interest in trading this name, but some people do. We got our low, high, higher low, lower high, and now we're looking for a higher low to form compared to 96. Bulls have to hold 96 and break 125 and 127 to see the daily trend change take place. And why it's also interesting is the monthly time frame is defending the all-time low here. I pretty much consider 88, 87 the all-time low because that's when there was actually volume. So 87 all-time low when we bounced off of 94. And we'll just be looking for a monthly lower high if we can get some follow-through. Step number 1 is change that daily trend. So bottom line is we had some relief. So what have we seen happen the last 2 weeks? Well, 2 weeks ago, we talked about how the bears were getting greedy, and we talked about how it was completely inverse to what we saw at the top, and we were seeing the same thing down at the bottom with bears getting greedy and thinking they had it very easy. We've since seen a very slow and steady move. The bulls show up in one name at a time, and they really fluctuate on that. That's the wrong word. They focus on that one name and run it, and then we see another name run. So it's not a sector-wide confidence boost. There's no catalyst for this. It's just showing bear exhaustion and the bulls getting a little bit of life due to that bear exhaustion. So some daily trend changes underway. We need weekly trend changes for us to feel confident longer term in this sector as a whole. And we will patiently be watching day by day and take it from there. And the same thing stood out. So we were looking for bear exhaustion at the bottom, and then the same thing stood out this Monday, shorter term time frames. It was the bear exhaustion on CGC that stood out, and other names where we hit our top of the bounce is in. What do the bears got? And they didn't have anything on that pullback. APHA, we had the top of the bounce set, and the pullback, we were looking for that higher low to form, and congrats to bulls. Protect those positions. If you're thinking longer term, just set a stop at break even and reestablish a new game plan if you get stopped out. And otherwise, if you're thinking short term, have that plan to lock in that profit. Do good things. Thanks again. We'll see you in the USMJ video soon.